Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the this last evening episode of 23rd NHRDN National Conference 2021. Over to you, Dr. Singh.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a great day it has been today. As a matter of fact, last 24 hours have been very eventful. And if I look back, curtain raiser, which started this event yesterday evening, it has been an impressive spread of information, knowledge, wisdom, which all of us had during these last 24 hours. This has been an outstanding 23rd National Convention. Looking back, it has been very enriching, intellectually stimulating for all of us, and needless to say, each one of us, 160 odd people who are on this attendee list, each one of us would have taken something for ourselves on our own, although the spread was beautiful. What we are going to do in next 18, 19, 20 minutes is to kind of revisit what each one of us have learned together during these last 24 hours. In fact, if we look back, last 12 months have been a very trying, defining watershed 12 months. And during last 12 months, there have been so much of angst, pain, so much of difficulties that I'm reminded of a Hindi poet who said something like this, that ho gayi hai peer parbat seet ghalni chahiye. Our pain has become like a mountain and it's time that it should melt. इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए. It's high time that this mountain should allow a Ganga to flow out. And during last 24 hours, and particularly this day, the Ganga of knowledge, wisdom has flown. And as I said, each one of us will pick up our own threads. I have some great people on this panel. What I'm going to do is to request them, because we have paucity of time, if they could highlight one particular learning, unlearning, or relearning during this 24 hours, if they can share that part. And also if they can highlight what are their personal takeaways, I think that will be interesting. I will start with Dr. Akhil Basrai, who is one of great doyen of HR profession. And I would start with Dr. Akhil, requesting him to share some highlights, especially if he remembers yesterday's curtain raiser, which was a powerful session, and also a question around compassionate leadership or anything around agile practices. So, Akhil, what has been your one takeaway, and what you would say that one thing you have learned, and what one thing you think what we all as a collective should take away? Let's start with you, Akhil, then I will come to GP.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you. And like you said, it's a great conference, I must say, in many ways. The one takeaway, if I were to synthesize from the deliberation that I've heard yesterday and good part of day today, that the HR's innate ability to do certain things only the HR way, and only HR can do it, came to be recognized by line managers. Whether it was accidental, whether it was planned, or whether it was ordained, let's not debate. The fact that the line managers actually realized that if there was somebody who can handle the crisis, it was HR, and HR did a fantastic job of doing that particular thing because we had it within us. And that got recognized. Many times HR has been underscored, under a short change by line managers as is a common sense function. So that, Dr. Saab, that recognition by line managers to say, you guys can help it, please lead. And giving HR the opportunity to lead was an opportunity that came on our lap, and we did a good job of it. And as a side effect of that uh, was the confidence in HR itself increased. Our own confidence. I mean, I heard the speakers after speakers. There's a robustness and confidence to say we can do it, and we will do this, and we'll do this, and scenario planning for the future. And this is a very newfound confidence in many of the HR professionals, and coming out of their defensiveness in many cases for good reason, and now feeling confident. The only takeaway that I would like to remind ourselves is that we should not slide back to old HR. It'll be very easy to go back to Gisa Pita stuff of what we were doing because it's comfortable. Now that we have ventured out into the green field, we have done something good job. People have recognized us for what we are worth. I think the tempo must be kept, and we must make advantage of the reputation that we have regained. I wouldn't say gained. We have regained that reputation which we richly deserve. I know it sounds like self praise for the HR conference, but I do feel proud to be an HR professional. And we have done a great job. Let us acknowledge it, but keep doing and not slide back.
Good, wonderful. So, I mean, you are reminding me something like, regaining paradise. We have regained the paradise, and we have to now look forward. No rear view mirror driving. Look forward, drive forward with a lot of passion and with purpose. GP, I will come back to you now. I'm coming to you, GP, and if I will ask GP if you would like to say what has been your key learning and what takeaway which you would recommend. Especially, I would like you to say something around resilience, if you can. Resilience, which is basically advancing despite adversity. So, if you can share some of your thoughts, learning, what you are taking from this national conference, it will be helpful. GP, you are on mute, GP. GP, we can't hear you. Yes.
Actually, it's not on mute.
GP, you're on mute. Yeah, carry on. Shall I go back? Shall I come to you, Anju? Probably digital world has overpromised.
Yes.
I mean, Rajesh Chandwani from IIM Ahmedabad was talking about overpromise of digital technology. Would you like to say something, Anju, quickly?
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I had very good learnings today, and was happy to be part of some sessions led by some very senior people. For the start, what I took back was the fact that this particular scenario, this particular session, or this particular episode of pandemic has hit stress to the highest. But it was cropping up. The corporate India at least has been seeing this increase over a period of time, and mental health, for that matter, has been the biggest cause of concern globally during this last pandemic, and it has superseded every other cause of health issues that have happened in the world. What organizations are doing today is not enough. That came out loudly to me in these conversations. I took back one key learning where I heard about if a ship is grounded, you can't repair it. It has to be broken into pieces, and you have to create a new ship. Likewise, mental health is something similar. Offsites or lip service is not going to solve the problem. If we don't take care of it, our troops will suffer, and it will impact the organizations, and the organizations would be closer to being grounded. That being the sensitive part of where HR plays a role, all of us into the HR need to drive it collectively. Of course, it is not only HR who needs to be championing this cause, because only HR alone cannot do it. It is the CXOs, the managers who need to take equal responsibility for it. Coming to your question around digital, We heard about digital over-promising and under-delivering over the last centuries, and given that reality, we really need to look back, saying what was it promising, what has it really delivered. Look at what social media was promising and what we are really using it for. So similarly, there was a very beautiful anecdote to say, what comes, what are you really trying to deliver? What comes? What is more important? Is it the horse or the cart? What is really, you're trying to urge people to do better? Getting the horses to move faster.
Yes, 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 yes. Carry on, carry on. Carry on, Anju. We can hear you. Looks like we are losing her.
I
think GP has come back.
GP, if you are back,
he's on mute.
Am I audible?
GP, would you? Yeah, Anju, complete your sentence, then we will go to GP.
Sure. So what is important is what kind of rope do you need to use? Is it supposed to be made up of jute? Is it supposed to be made up of optic fiber? Where does HR actually come to an intersection to help navigate? Most of the time, data and digital is used by people. Actually, data is not biased, but people who are using data may be biased.
Sure.
So using the data and digital for the right purpose is what really important, and that is where I'd like to give it back to you, Dr.
Wonderful, wonderful. GP, if you can come back and share your learnings and takeaways. We can't hear you. We can see you smiling, definitely. Very broad, vibrant smile. No, we can't.
All he's saying that he learned a lot.
Wow. Non-verbal communication. Mamta, can I pull you in and ask you to add your learning, your takeaways, if you can comment and chip in and say that what has been your learning, what are the highlights of this session for you? Mamta, you can.
Definitely, thank you. For me, resoundingly, I kept hearing the word culture. In every session I went to, culture is center stage. However, culture has to be measured. So there was a talk about linking culture to outcomes. And there was a talk about loose and tight cultures. So, which was like handcuffs to rail guards. So a big learning for me personally was to constantly learn to let go. So just like a road has rails, you just need to have rails, which are your principles and values, giving you purpose. But no hand. Loudly was taking advantage of the external environment. So Mr. Sanjeev Mehta spoke about it, that you will have to be networked with the external environment, no matter what department you're in. And as CHROs take on business roles, it would become even more integral. And thus, these ecosystems that we form, these relationships we form, have to be taking advantage of partnership. If we want to move faster, the digital session also spoke about creating those partnerships. So there were common themes I saw coming through. Eventually, a strong sense of creating belonging and purpose was required. And Zenza came up with some examples of how they got families onto calls, creating that sense of culture in a virtual world, which was an increasing challenge for them. But repeatedly, there was this thing coming back to principles, values, and purpose. And that was all about humanizing the workplace. Another thing I thought was very interesting was that those organizations that will go the fastest, that 10x that was talked about, will not be those that are fragile, those will fall by the way. Will not be those that are resilient and can manage, but will actually be those that are anti-fragile. Anti-fragile means that they will know how to again, form those partnerships and deal with those changes growing at that 10x. And in all of that, empathy, employee care will be central. And for that, leaders who have been forced to change need to continue to have a mindset of change, because that's the biggest challenge. The challenge is up, the challenge is not down. So these were my comments.
I wanted to go to Akhil once again, and Akhil, if I can ask you that, do you think that this 1.5 day national conference has also shaken our postulates, assumptions about our own role, the way we look at our business? Have you seen that there has been a challenge in terms of how do we perceive our profession, how do we perceive our business? Has assumptions been challenged during this 1.5 day?
Vivi bhai, I would say that many of us, or rather most of us, knew what our role is, what our contribution is. Instead of saying that we discovered something new, I thought that this whole deliberation that we heard gave me one feeling that it lended into reaffirmation that what we thought was correct. And it was a very good opportunity for all of us to have that good feel-good factor, not only for the feel-good part of it, but some of the assumptions that we had that we are actually doing well, or are we just being praised because we stood up at the right time. The affirmation came from all sources: line managers, academicians, data. And one thought I would leave with Krish and Prem and other leaders in the NHRDN network, we picked up a lot of small practices during this conference. For example, just to take one name, for example, Dr. Alka Mittal's point that, somebody spent 2 lakhs from his pocket to buy and tea for the hospital staff. And when she heard, she sanctioned 5 lakhs more. Sounds small, but I think these are the big gestures NHR has to learn from people like Dr. Alka. That, make a big difference in making our employees and people feel empowered, feel ingrained. And these are the learnings of this conference that we can summarize somewhere and take it. So to coming back to your question, I think it has reaffirmed our faith in ourselves. It has reaffirmed our ability to do certain things. And it has made a big impact on our inner self-confidence and self-respect as an HR professional, which I think is a significant move forward. I don't say we lacked it, but more is always welcome, sir.
Wonderful. So I'm very mindful of the fact that we have a very limited time. It is 45 minutes past 6 o'clock. But my last question to Anju and Mamta, very quick and sharp answer. I also heard during this conference the need to act as a conscience keeper, as credible activists. These were the two roles were highlighted by some of the speakers. What's your take on this? Credible activist, HR professional as credible activist, and also kind of conscience keeper, आत्मा की आवाज को पकड़ने वाला, जो संस्था ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का जो सोल है, सोल कस्टोडियन. Did you hear that, if at all? And if no, what's your thought? If yes, what's your thought? Anju and Mamta, then we conclude.
Okay. Will I go first?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I completely agree with you, and that came out louder, and that came out in real also. I have seen that HR has been accepted as a good business leader, as almost next to the CEO. I've seen people, HR being sensitive to people, who listen to people. And if you are really authentic, if you listen to people, if you know your customer, if you're able to touch their lives, that is where I think you bring in credibility, because your decisions will be aligned to what people really want you to deliver at that particular point of time to your own context. I believe if you are a credible leader today, over a period of maybe a decade, when you look back, you will realize that did you rise up to the occasion? Did you use the right data and technology to improve people's skill sets, to improve people's life, to deliver to business results? And that would that is when you will realize that you were a credible leader at that time. I think HR is doing that right now. We should just take it to the next level.
Mamta, your take?
Yes, I think HR has to carry the principles and the values and make them come alive in an organization, and has to influence the top leaders to make it move along, as well as entrainment, which was that word that was used, which I really liked. It's the one word that's rung across for me. Working in sync with everybody in a collaborative way, and leading from the front. I think these are the things.
Wonderful.
Dr. Singh, by
I
any
don't know
chance,
whether
you can
GP
hear
is.
me? Yeah, I
Yes,
am trying to
please carry
speak.
on.
Okay,
Yeah, carry on.
okay. The quick one, yeah, respecting the time constraint. The quick one is on the resilience. My takeaway is all the speakers said human resources, don't count them as resources. Then you will think about limitations. Don't confine yourselves to only relations, so you only do welfare. You think about human resilience. Resilient people,
Wonderful.
resilience culture, resilience policies, resilience leaders will take the next steps. All calamities, all challenges will be there. We have to accept and we'll try to move on. And resilience is the only power that the human beings will have it, so that the potential will be unlimited. So HR should be human resilience. Thank you, Dr. Singh.
Wonderful, wonderful. That was really powerful. 1 minute summary of what you picked up and what you are recommending as takeaway. And I would like to conclude by completing the poem which I had started. It is a poem by Dushyant Kumar, a very famous Hindi poet. And what I was encouraging everyone to ruminate that during this day today, and as a matter of fact, last 24 hours, what we have seen is that during these deliberations, things have started taking a different kind of a shape in our mind, in our thought process. And this is where Dushant Kumar says that आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी, आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी, शर्त लेकिन थी कि ये बुनियाद हिलनी चाहिए, हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलनी चाहिए, इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए. We have very limited time, but I will conclude by saying that this 1.5 day or last 24 hours, the purpose of this national conference was not only to create a buzz around agility. It was not only creating a buzz, but something more than that. Because last 12 months in our society, in our corporate world, there has been tremendous pain and angst. सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, मेरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. The world has to change, the landscape has to change, HR profession has to change, business has to change, and this is what we have deliberated. If we can take one or two things from here in terms of our learning, in terms of our relearning, in terms of our unlearning, it will be a great service to ourselves, our organization, and society at large. Thank you very much, my great esteemed panelists, Akhil, GP, Mamta, Anju. Extremely grateful for your erudite statements, submissions, advices, counsels. Thank you very much. Extremely grateful. We close this session here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, can I please request Mr. Prem Singh to come on stage?
Yes. Am I in? You can see me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prem. Yes, carry on.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Singh, and thank you all the panelists of this takeaway session. I think it was very powerful, extremely effective. My compliments to you, Dr. Singh, and to everyone for beautifully summarizing the deliberations of last 2 days. Transforming HR, agility, resilience, and digital. That was the theme. And what we saw in action yesterday and today was exactly the demonstration of a very agile style of response, very high level of resilience by the team National HRD Network, the organizing team, everyone, and using digital technology. So actually, we have all lived the purpose and the theme of this conference yesterday and today. And let me just take a step back and explain why. We all know that we were supposed to use a particular platform, and some of the speakers insisted that no, I'm comfortable only with B platform. I can't use it. So we had two choices. Say no to those speakers, get somebody else. But that was an easy choice. That did not have any major application of mind. That did not require us to think on our feet, to think out of the box. As a team, National HRD Network team and the organizing team did think differently. And we created a system so that we were able to use a combination of two platforms and make sure that those celebrated, selected speakers are able to come on the platform. We customized. We thought out of the box, and we used technology. This morning, the way the platform started giving up, the team did not give up. Team stood firm, demonstrated a very high level of resilience in a very agile manner. I know many of the people sent me text messages, since the system is not supporting, let's call it off. That could have been a choice. Perhaps a very straightforward and an easy choice. But the internal fighter of the team decided not to give up. The team decided to fight it. Team decided to surmount this obstacle. And therefore, team found out a solution by which we were able to pull back. And we demonstrated a very high level of tenacity in a very resilient and agile manner, using technology, using digital tool. And the spirit that the team was able to demonstrate was that of a champion. Great teams win championships. And in order to celebrate that spirit of championship of the team, I would like to play a small video for all of you, which is just a 2 minutes video. Please take a look at this video. Michelle, can we have that video, please? And please keep the volume up. Increase the volume.
To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions, stand up. For the champions, for the champions, stand up. Stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions.
So, my friends, I think merely saying thank you to this team of champions would not have been adequate. That's why for this team, we particularly chose this song to just celebrate that spirit of championship, that spirit of resilience, and that spirit of tenacity. So my profuse thanks to all of you, all the 58 speakers, 72 members of the organizing team, which included mentors, core group, zonal teams, executive committee, young brigade, the people who are behind the scenes, and very importantly, the strong backbone of National HRD Network, Dhananjay ji's team and Bhagat Singh and his team. May I request all of you to give a big round of applause to Dhananjay, his team, Bhagat Singh and his team. And if you are on there connected, please come on the screen just for half a minute. We just want to celebrate that spirit. Most importantly, also please give a big round of applause to my own colleague in the executive committee, Mamta, Alokji, and Prasoon. All of them. And the people who have been with us, the think tank, the mentors, we have been working for last 3 months. But we just wanted to produce and bring this experience to all of you because you matter to us. You are the purpose of our existence. It was a beginning. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to bring to you. And I would like to end with a small couplet. चले थे अकेले ही जानिब ए मंजिल, चले थे अकेले ही जानिब ए मंजिल, मगर लोग आते गए, कारवां बनता गया. Thank you very much. Thank you for your association. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being there. Thank you for your trust in the morning today. Otherwise, it could have been a very different experience. We value that. Thank you for standing by the team, and a very big thank you again to the organizing team that delivered this experience. Yes, Dhananjay ji, please come on the stage, come on the screen. And I would request Bhagat Singh, Meenakshi, Nisha, each one of you, please show your faces just once. And we would like to celebrate your spirit, your tenacity. You all did it. You all made it big. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Singh, and thank you, everyone. Take care, be safe, and Michelle and team, every one of you, the team Fulki, the team Airmeet, each one of you, I think all of you played a fantastic role. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay.
Thank you, everyone. I think we've lost Prem sir. But thanks so much. Last 24 hours been an exciting learning, networking. We still have the networking lounge open. So feel free to get onto the lounge. Let's connect there. Let's interact. Let's talk. Until we meet again, thank you so much and good night.
Good night.
Nisha, Bhagat Singh, Bhagat ji, Dhananjay sir, do you want to say something before we sign off?
Just to say thanks to all of you.
I'll just say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you all of you all.
You're on mute, Nisha.
Yes. Thank you all for making this a very memorable.
Grateful thanks to all of you, please.
Thank
Grateful
you.
thanks. Nikita, Pallavi.
Thank you. Great
Michelle.
job. You guys did a good
Thanks
job.
all of
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Nisha.
much.
Thank you, Bhagat. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Meenakshi. We are not able to see you, but thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you, Dhananjay ji. Thank you.
Thank you and have a great Sunday.
Alok ji, Mamta ji, Prasoon
Yes.
ji, आप एक मिनट के लिए अपना स्विच ऑन कर लो.
Have a great Sunday, everybody. It's been a lot of work and a full day event. So thank you very much, everybody.
Michelle, thank you. Thank you for playing it so well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nisha, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bhagat ji,
Nisha. Thank you.
Dhananjay ji,
Thank
very
you, sir.
big thank you.
Prem compliments.
Alok ji and
Congratulations.
Mamta ji and Prasoon ji, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Prem.
Thank
Can
you
you
very
hear me?
much. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.